Welcome to the Fantasy Think. I'm Jared Quartermansion. Today we are going to be doing a short review for Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes, one of the sci-fi masterwork collection books. And I recently did a read along with this and had a book think episode for this book with my friend Evie from She Was Only Evie. So check that out if you read the book and you get a chance. But this is a non-spoiler review for those of you who have not read the book, and you should read this book. This introspective science fiction masterpiece was first published back in the early 60s. What makes this book different from other books I've read from that time period is just how thoughtful the author is. And what I mean by that is that Keyes treats his subject matter with care and consideration. Most speculative fictional writers from that time use the mentally disabled to throwaway characters or as the focus of some strange super alien ability or access to something similar like that. But in this story, the narrator, Charlie, is initially a mentally disabled person who is telling us his story. Keyes gives us a smart introduction to Charlie by having him write out progress reports. The initial reports are messy, misspelled, and short, reflecting the state of mind of the patient and his intellectual inability to form cohesive thoughts and narrative. As the story moves along, things change. This is the science fiction part of the story, these changes, which is quite mundane and understated compared to other sci-fi books. There are quite a few themes running throughout the book, as you can probably imagine. They are themes that you would expect to come up with in such a situation as the miracle treatment for mental disability gets administered, and the need for a parent to believe their child is going to be okay and be like everyone else is powerful and quite personal for myself. The emotional impact resonated through Charlie's memories, expertly put down on paper by Keyes, who managed to do it in a very believable manner. Keyes also focuses on some of the problems that a greater intellectual insight can bring, how stress creeps in and becomes a greater factor, and the concept of the more you know, the more you realize how much you don't know. All that creeps in. Keyes also just deftly weaves the past into the story by asking like thematic questions like, is the past worth knowing? That's a big one. Charlie defines his past in relation to his present as he realizes the maze of a path he chose to go through and how it made him into what he is now. He makes similar mistakes about others that people made with him, and then comes to this self-awareness of what he is doing based upon what he went through in the past. And so really well done like that. He rails against his doctors for not treating him like a person instead of a science experiment. And all this is just presented so naturally and feels very much like a true journal. You kind of forget it is science fiction. It seems so real. Keyes also briefly touches upon religion and how that affects someone of a sudden growth in intellectual prowess. Charlie reflects on how going to college was to learn the things you believed in all your life aren't true, and that nothing is what it appears to be. A common sentiment. Um, Charlie sheds some of the beliefs he found childish in his new state of learning, but when he presents it as such to those who knew him before, they throw those beliefs back at him. They say things like, quote, "The fruit of that tree was forbidden to man. Charlie, if you'd done anything you wasn't supposed to, like with the devil or something," end quote. This ties into how some religious beliefs can see progress as an unnatural occurrence, and self improvement as a negative, at least in Charlie's point of view at this time. The wonderful thing about uh, Charlie's sad journey is that none of these themes and ideas are forced upon the reader. Keyes does a wonderful job of keeping you engaged in the story moving forward without hitting you over the head with obviousness. He lets you think for yourself and figure things out on your own. Precisely what Charlie was fighting for his whole life. So check out this amazing sci-fi masterwork, Flowers for Algernon. Oh, and by the way, Algernon is a mouse. See what I mean by experiments? All right. So I hope you check out this book, and I hope you like and subscribe, and I hope you're all good to each other.